Oh shit, I forgot the recording.
We're good.
It was an OS moment, folks.
Let the name work.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look good in the interim. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
I can see it from here.
Maybe I should just go grab a donut hole while I'm up and do something worthwhile.
Make
Look at
room.
that guy spring across
Make
there.
room.
Don't sit down yet. I gotta turn the mics on and then I gotta go.
Make room for a working man. Good morning and welcome to Continuous Miracle Radio right here on WGLM 106.3. Scott here, so glad you're with us again this morning. And, hey, look, the sun's out.
Okay, that's amazing stuff. I kind of like it.
There's an orange ball in the sky. Spring is
Daylight, they saved that for a while. That's what today is, daylight savings.
Today's the day, that's right. I hope you set your clocks back or something like that. We're supposed to do that, right?
I assigned that to somebody.
Oh,
Spring
okay.
forward.
Oh, Mia, the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a lot of rambunctiousness here this morning in the studio. Think we're getting a handle on it. Darren, we okay?
We're okay now.
Whew.
All right.
Boy, I was spinning for a minute, folks. Almost
when
got
you've
Heather
been-
caught up in it.
When you've been away from the studio for 3 weeks, you kind of forget what needs to be done and
Oh,
in what
yeah.
order.
Yeah, there is that.
I showed up.
Yeah.
There's a start.
Mike, you did show up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for being here. Brought something with you, I see.
Oh, yeah. A
A
souvenir.
new adornment.
Oh, yeah.
Got a nice shiner there, Mike.
We'll discuss that at some future date. It's complicated, folks.
Well, as long as it was just another one of those home improvement projects, I guess.
Yes, sir. Working with a hot tub.
Working with a hot tub, and you were assaulted by a hot tub cover.
Yes, sir.
Splendid. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that at a later date.
I have a worse wound on my foot.
Oh my goodness. This is the things that happen when we let Mike go out on his own. He thinks he gets good ideas and then he starts doing stuff. And next thing you know, he looks like this.
And my foot hurts.
And his foot hurts. So glad you could make it in. So yeah.
Well, I heard that Heather was going to be here from Guiding Light, and I wanted to show up for that. That's kind of important.
I was just going to introduce her, Heather.
Sorry about
Heather.
jumping the gun.
Oh, you're good. Heather on the show here with us this morning from Guiding Light Women's Recovery Program. And welcome, my dear.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, we understand through our friend Ann, mutual friend. He introduced us to Heather and invited give us a call and said she's got quite a story, and maybe you might want to have her on the show so she could share some experience, strength, and hope. And I thought it was a segue. The last 2 weeks we've had Heidi on
Oh, yeah.
with her sexual trauma discussions and very important, critical information that we're trying to get out there and help that's available to anyone who's suffered trauma in their lives, whether it be sexual or physical or whatever that event may have
I got
triggered.
to interject. For some children.
I will in just a minute. I'm going to allow for that. but Mike is what Mike wants to allude to here is the ACEs, correct?
Correct.
And what he discovered with the ACEs test. And a lot of people who develop the disease of alcoholism or drug addiction have been our discoveries over the years, have suffered some sort of trauma in their lives, whether it be the various types of trauma that's available out there in the world today, and there's quite a bit of it.
Yep.
So and that's some of the root cause that we're getting to here today. You know, Heather's had some traumatic experiences in her life that I'll let her tell you about here shortly. And some of that has brought about the addiction, right? Or fueled it.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse
Fueled
me.
it.
Yeah. So go ahead, Mike. I know you got something. You look like you're brimming with something smart.
I was just pointing out that's some of the things that to wind up being a case manager, life coach, such as Heather is, you need to have that lived experience.
Yeah. Well, I think it helps with the effectiveness because you've experienced that trauma and all the feelings and the emotions that come along with having a traumatic experience in our lives.
Yeah.
And life is full of events.
Yeah.
Some are just wonderful blessings, and there's some things that can be very traumatic, as a lot of us have experienced.
One thing I was reminded of recently was a child that has quite a bit of illness in their youth or surgeries. They're traumatized. They're in a place that's foreign to them without all the familiar network. That's another one that I hadn't been thinking about that lately.
No.
But that's just as severe.
Yeah, yeah. All sorts of ways we get dented up sometimes, and then it fuels things as we mature a little bit. In my discovery,
Yes, sir.
you know. So, anyway, Heather, thank you for coming on the show today. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to recovery?
What brought me to recovery? For a long time, probably 20 plus years, I won't say in and out of the rooms, but I had one scary experience that landed me in treatment. Everybody gets clean in their own way, and it took me a really long time to realize that I could not do this on my own, but boy, did I try. Like I was saying, for 20 plus years. And I'm originally actually from Battle Creek. I have like no.
Sorry about your luck.
yeah. No.
Serial
wonder.
capital.
Well, that
yeah.
explains everything. All right.
Yep. So originally from Battle Creek, a very small recovery community, and the only reason I ended up in Grand Rapids was I was in a treatment facility with a young lady, and she was talking about this place called Guiding Light, this amazing place called Guiding Light, and she really like talked it up. And all that they had at that time was sober living. So I did not get the pleasure, like Ann, of going through the 4 to 6 month program. I actually went somewhere else for treatment. Not important where I went. But I did 90 days as opposed to the 30. I would go in, I would do 30, same thing, immediately go back to
Well,
same.
that's not a negative. It takes what it takes. If you needed 90 days, then that's what it took, right?
Yep.
If you needed 30, other folks do a 30-day. I've seen all variety of folks doing different things different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But 90 days, if that's what it took for you, then that's exactly what it took. Because look at the results today.
I love that expression. It takes what it takes until it takes.
Exactly.
As progressive as this disease is, in ways for me personally, recovery has been just as progressive. I could only bite off as much as I could chew at the time before like the promises started to come true. So I did all the things that were suggested to me instead of just trying to do it my own way, and it ended up working out. I had this belief that that's good enough. when I'd get a task done, when I'd go to a meeting, or okay, fine, I got a sponsor, okay, I'm gonna work the steps, and I would go to bed at night thinking, okay, that was good enough, and I just needed something different. I needed something better. There was no fulfillment. It was just like, okay, they gave me the structure that I needed in the treatment center, but then it's like, okay, now what?
Right.
Yeah, like I'm hearing all these promises, and
It's when you come out of the recovery center that's where the rubber meets the road.
yeah, and a lot of these treatment centers, like everybody gets sober in their own ways, but it's like, okay, you do the 30, and then they might give you a, like I always got this, what was it, relapse prevention packet.
Oh, yeah.
And I would never pull that out before a relapse was about to happen.
Nice.
No, wasn't the first idea?
Yeah, when they wanted to do like aftercare with me, my therapist would have to hunt me down wherever I was at in the facility. I was probably, up to no good in front of the TV or just doing very unproductive things with myself. They would have to hunt me down to come up with my treatment plan as to what I was going to do to maintain what they had just, helped me get.
Well, what about, God bless the folks in the recovery center who took the time out of their day to come find you
Absolutely.
and get the materials and information in your hands despite your obstinance
Absolutely.
and encourage you.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something about that guy's my sponsor, and he had to tell me that something about when you said about that's good enough. He had to tell me that a good, honest effort was good enough. All I had to do was really try from the heart, and it was enough. But I had to make the distinction: did I really try from the heart that time, or did I not? That was.
Well, that was the tripwire.
Oh yeah.
You both sound like my sponsor, Lori.
Well, there's a reason that the experience
The
tells me that it's
yep.
something like that, a lot like that.
It's something like that. It went from that's good enough to I did the best I could.
There you go.
So-
That's what I was trying to.
For me, the biggest thing was a change in perspective. A change in perspective. I played a really good victim-like mentality to where everything in life was being done to me. Growing up, I had this core belief. My parents, they were very bare minimum pay bills. If one thing was on, another thing might have gotten cut off. So
Okay.
just not a lot of resources growing up. It was very much like get by.
I'd use an accounting system like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a businessman.
Okay.
I didn't say
But-
successful. I said businessman.
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard you.
Some things got in the way. Yeah.
That'll happen on occasion.
Yes, sir. When I forget to do what's required or what's asked of me, I get the same bad old results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how we learn.
Yep. That is how.
And it sounds like you absorbed that from your folks. You wanted more, right?
Yep. I wanted more. Yeah. There was nothing fulfilling about. Okay, that's good enough. There's like that saying, "I didn't come this far only to come this far."
Right.
And like that really resonated with me. But like in my early recovery, it was like, okay, I've come this far. When do I get to be happy? Not realizing like that's the work that they're talking about. That's the work that I need to put in if I want a fulfilling life.
Right. That's what we discovered. And life will keep lifing,
Life will keep lifing.
and it does on a daily basis. So,
Mm-hmm.
so you've been clean now. Were you telling me 2 years?
Yeah, about two and a half years.
2.5 years.
Yep.
And you came up to Grand Rapids and found yourself in Guiding Light as a resident, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yep. I moved into. We got a few properties, but I moved into Esther's house. So Esther is one of our spiritual directors.
Ah.
I couldn't tell you how many years she's been with Guiding Light, but total godsend. She's worked a lot more with the men, but since the women's program started, she does do a little bit of time over there with us.
How long has the women's program been in effect?
Probably about almost 2 years.
All right.
Yep.
You slid out under the wire, so to speak.
I did.
And that's true. For the longest time, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Guiding Light was pretty much predominantly for men, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And of course, they would accept anybody who came for help.
Yeah.
But then they started the women's side of things. Because guess what? Women count too.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
they have problems too.
And they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, there's always a high demand for women treatment facilities in Battle Creek. Actually, that's one of the reasons I moved. They only have like one sober living / treatment center there that's a really long program like ours. But other than that, there's not a lot of resources. And I had just heard so much about just the recovery community, and I was like, hey, that's something that they told me I was going to need was some kind of community coming out of here. And if I'm going to do all the things, I'm going to find a community. So that's kind of one of the things that got me over to Guiding Light. But Guiding Light actually got its start. It's actually pretty cool how Guiding Light got their start. It started as just a homeless shelter.
Yep.
And they started to see some of the same gentlemen cycling through this. Okay,
Sure.
why do they keep coming back? Like, what are they not getting, like, resource-wise? And they seen that a high number of gentlemen were struggling with addiction, and that's what was keeping them coming back to Guiding Light to get support until they got where they needed. And then they would end up out doing life, and as life does, and they would come back into the Guiding Light program where it just served as a homeless shelter. So they saw a need that needed to be filled, and that's exactly what they did. They were like, I think if we start to tackle this disease, we might see some good results. People actually like maintaining,
Yeah.
sustaining.
prior to, a long time back, that was what it was. It served its purpose.
It did.
But when they go after the root causes, like we were talking about earlier, and that start treating alcoholism or drug addiction as a disease and putting some resources towards that, that's when the miracle happened, right?
That's when the miracle happened. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. They got sick of slapping the Band-Aid on, instead decided to look at the wound. What's going on here?
Right. Right. So good on Guiding Light for becoming aware and putting the effort and the resources into helping people recover from addiction.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd like to ask a more in-depth question about Guiding Light's change in their mission, so to speak, from homeless to recovery. But I think if we just get started on it, we'd probably get cut off because we got to go to a break fairly quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but when we come back, I got a question or two, young lady.
Okay, you ask away.
All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back from this break, because Darren's telling me we're about due for one. So, want a quick shout out thank you to our sponsors, the MAC and Guiding Light and Randy's House. Yeah.
All
Mike,
right.
Thank you, sir. So we'll be right back here and talk a little more with Heather about her recovery and what she's doing today. Thank you so much for listening to Continuous Miracle Radio right here on WGLM. Sorry, I tried to get it all in.
Good job.
Because it is.
Welcome back to Continuous Miracle Radio right here on WGLM 106.3 live this morning. If you would like to catch us, we are also up on Facebook Live this morning, and YouTube will be up on Tuesday.
Yes.
And we're also now on Spotify,
Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, Podcast Addict, so many.
Yeah.
It's easier to ask what we're not on.
What are we not on now?
That's awesome.
We're up on 9 or 10 platforms now. There,
Up to
folks.
11 now.
11, excuse
Yeah,
me.
TuneIn Radio.
Tune in so you can catch the show whenever you'd like to, actually. So tune in on any one of your favorite platforms and check out Continuous Miracle Radio for us. We appreciate you listening and watching. So, Mike, before we went to break, you were curious about something.
Yeah, I was talking
For
about
Heather.
I was thinking about, I wasn't really talking about yet, about how their mission changed at Guiding Light.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been a homeless shelter for so long, and you spoke of how they noticed a bigger need. You can't just change direction as an institution. You have to have a change in your mission statement, and there's a whole funding thing involved. That's not part of what you are. What did that look like, boots on the ground, when they had to find somebody from not graduate from their program to be a life coach case manager?
You know, I wasn't around for that. I do believe they've always kind of been donor funded, so I'm really not comfortable sharing that part because
Right, I wasn't asking that part
Yeah.
per se. I said that's all stuff that goes on like behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't hire a graduate of their program, so they found you.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what that looked like from your perspective when they shifted gears? Everything was already
Okay.
in place, right? Or
Yeah.
a few things you had to come up with on your own, stuff like that.
Sure, yeah, that was actually a beautiful thing. I had always like expressed interest because we hadn't had the women's program, but we had all these women in like sober living. That's Ruth and Esther's house, and we would do house meetings once a week. And I would always ask my house manager, like, you know, when this program kicks off, like, are we going to be able to kind of hang out with these ladies that are going through the treatment program? You know, this, that, and the other. I was doing my meetings, and just like by chance, my house manager had asked if I would be interested in just being a house manager over at Kendra's house.
Oh,
Which Kendra's house was donated to the program. It's where the participants live, and then they do programming elsewhere. So it's just a really beautiful home in Heritage Hill where they kind of get their rest and rejuvenation so they can do some pretty hard stuff, get through the program.
so you're like a facilitator for an IOP or something like that.
Kind of like I would just most of my time would be spent there at the house with the women that were going through the program. So like here's this whole program happening, and I actually worked for Kellogg's at the time. I had a full-time job. I worked for Kellogg's making Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, those are my favorite.
Yeah, all different kinds that I didn't even know existed came out of that factory.
I got questions for you later because I'm a dessert hound. But this is guiding light time.
So I would go to my job, and then after my job I would come there, and that would kind of be like a second job. I would take the women to meetings because we require them to be at least 30 days before they can operate the van, but they totally hands off. Staff doesn't operate the van, the participants do, as long as they're licensed drivers. So when it first started out, kind of like how you mentioned, like how did you know like to hire this coach or that coach? I kind of jumped in there until we had a licensed driver. So I was taking them to all the meetings, and I started to lose passion for Rice Krispie treats very quickly.
Oh, no.
When I started to hear about some of the stuff that they were doing for this program, and I'm like, that's really out of the box. Like, they never would have approached me with anything like this at the treatment facility. The last thing they wanted to do was make me kind of uncomfortable and to face those things that made me uncomfortable.
Well, and you mentioned out of the box, and that's what this, because it's new.
It is.
The Women's Recovery Program at Guiding Light is. It's kind of out of the box. It's not cookie cutter, let's get clean, let's send you down the road.
Yeah.
It's more in depth than that, and you're looking at actually helping people turn their lives around, and that takes a lot of hard work, not only just on the individual's part, but also the people who are helping facilitate that. And I've seen that with my own eyes, and so thank you for your service
Yeah.
and your passion for helping others.
Thank you for having me here on this radio show. Hopefully this reaches the ears of somebody who wants to try something different.
Sure, and that's what it takes. Want
Yeah.
to do something different.
Your experience
Yeah.
with what you shared with these new to recovery people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you brought to the table, their experience on how to do that. What did it look like?
Just kind of like navigating life on life's terms, When some of these women would get a little defeated, due to early recovery, the feelings started coming up, and they say the worst thing is about feelings is the feelings themselves. You start to feel things. Whether it was to get them through another night, like just stick it out, I know things are really hard. But we are voluntary, so you can leave whenever you want, but like give it just a little bit longer than like say 15 minutes. They say a craving takes about 15 minutes to pass. Just sleep on it. See if you can't show up tomorrow a different way. And 9 times out of 10, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
So, yep.
A day at a time, a moment at a time, an incident at a time?
Yep.
Oh, that's what's going on. You told them how to help with that, huh?
Yep. And also, like, taking on the role, like, we're meant to be, I don't want to say models, but somebody to look up to. Like, this can be done. Like, I can go,
Well, you're an example.
yes, an example.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of doing that, but like it made me feel that much better, Some of these I can remember in my recovery just thinking like looking up to these people that have some kind of like sobriety under their belt, thinking they can do it, and that's awesome. I didn't think it could be done, but it definitely can't be done when it comes to me.
So you were wrong.
I was absolutely wrong, and I'm so happy. I've never been happier to be wrong in my life.
Boy, there's a lot of that goes on.
Oh, yeah. We got nobody named Roger. You're wrong again, Roger.
Yep. The whole, usually my first thought or response isn't the correct one.
Yeah. Well, think about that.
Yeah, it took me a second to learn how to pause and not react. Right?
We're still
Ooh.
getting Mike to get to.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I get closer every day, but the next thing you know, their life keeps life, and I keep, oh my goodness. But I haven't had drink in a long time.
Yeah.
We're on to something.
Still comes out sideways.
Yeah.
It's
I told them about a song this morning called Sideways by Travis Meadows. It's a really good one about recovery. If I don't deal with this stuff, it comes.